What's going on, Workforce? Brian here.
Chris here.
And today we're going to be talking about Destiny 2. The live event just wrapped up. And we're not there, no big deal. But we really... I'm blown away. Chris is skeptical.
I was very skeptical. The last couple minutes was the first chills I got the whole time.
So we're going to just jump in and we're going to talk about the Destiny 2 live event and gameplay.
So they started by introducing the game, and they're really looking like they're trying to keep the things that we liked the most about Destiny 1 the same, with a few key changes that are hopefully going to hit all the pain points that we all know about in the community.
Right. So Luke Smith is the game director, and if you guys don't know him, he directed The Taken King. He actually comes from 1UP. He comes from a video game journalism background, but that actually wasn't his focus. And so I thought he was very, very charming on stage. He was very humorous. So he hit 3 main points.
He first went over a world that pulls you in. One of the things about Destiny 1 is that depending on kind of your perspective, the world could be very cold. There were whole parts of it that I just never felt that I needed to go engage. And I really didn't feel that it fully... I don't know exactly how to phrase it. It was missing some achievement. It was missing something to just pull me further in.
I would like relate it. So obviously we're big Final Fantasy 14 players. I would relate it to the Destiny 1 to Final Fantasy 14 1.0. Very barren. Like lots of empty space that you felt like there could be something here at some point. But no. But from the art that they showed for this thing... I was really blown away. I thought it looked great.
And then they went over one of the biggest changes, and that is PvP, which is one of the big pain points of Destiny 1. They didn't address all my concerns, but Brian here is shaking because they did announce that we'll be moving to 4v4.
Huge information and note there. We have lots of opinions, and I've talked about what I want to see with Destiny 2 as it relates to competitive, as it relates to all the things that we want to see. And I think moving to a 4v4 is the right move. It was this, kind of this 6v6 that it always just never really kind of felt like that right balance. It's tried, it's true. Balancing becomes so much easier, in my opinion.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Harder to run into a triple team coming against you when there's only 4 of them.
Yes.
And last up, they said always somebody to play with. They had this wonderful stat that basically 50% of players did get to kind of make it into their in-game content, and while they were thrilled about those people, that means that there's 50% of people that did not. And it was hard to find parties. I mean, we had friends. It was hard to find parties.
I thought 50% was high. I thought it was more, 50% is more marketing. I was thinking more like 30%.
No,
like
50% zoned in, not completed all of it.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So I've done a little bit of the raids, but I haven't been an avid raider. And it's namely that, okay, how do we get the team and the crew and the 6? And so they actually addressed some of the things they're bringing into the game, and we'll talk about that regarding clans and guided access here in a bit. The whole point behind that, though, the 50% with what they want to do is they want to have content accessible to all players. And one of the challenges, and that's why they dive into it a little bit, was that with the hardest level content, you can't have matchmaking. And I think that builds to a toxic environment. So imagine if we 3 got match made, and then we picked up 2 people who were like, yep, we're here till the end, and then we have this one slot that keeps dropping. And because of that, because somebody's like, we wiped, I'm out. You see that with a lot of matchmaking games anyway.
Absolutely.
Is that you find that, oh, well, not everybody had the same motivations, not everybody has the same goals. And that's one of the reasons why they kept that away. And so I like that the idea that they're bringing content for everybody. It concerned me at first.
And not to pick apart word choice, but they said all content available to all players. Mm-hmm. And that is very different than all content played by all players.
Or for all players.
Because my brothers don't want to go into PvE. I don't always want to go into the Crucible. It's not my favorite part of play if I'm getting on by myself. And so saying that I'm not going to, well, if you want your good gear, you have to do 1 of these, 5 of these, and 3 of these every single day, or you're behind. That, I hope, was not the intent of their statement. But just that if I do want to always try something out, there's going to be a way.
With Destiny 1, the best thing that they added... It was added way too late, and that was custom matches. Now they let you get experience and things like that. So if that is a day 1 feature, that ends up serving all audiences, because it's one of the problems that we've had with Titanfall 2 is that when we've gone into custom matches, you stop all progression, and the game is so heavily progression centered, and so Destiny will be. Destiny 2 will have progression, obviously. But that was one of the big kind of drawbacks. And then Destiny 2, Destiny 1 finally added it way too late. Everybody had already kind of said, all right, we're done.
We were done.
And so I'm hoping that the Destiny 2 launches with custom matches. I'm really hopeful because the people who are out in California right now are playing the PvP, which they announced a new mode, an attack and defense mode. Sounds really cool. All that being said, they're obviously doing some kind of custom game. They're setting it now. As long as that's open to all.
And I don't think that was a big surprise. I don't think that a lot of it was. They did. I think they tried to shock and awe us with, you're getting a new game, you're getting a new campaign.
Mm-hmm. Looks amazing.
Obviously, we're going to get a new campaign. You're going to get some new worlds. Obviously, I would expect no less.
Yep.
You're going to have some abilities, obviously.
Right.
We're going to tweak the UI, but a lot of it looked really similar to me.
I like the similarness of it from the gunplay, and then you had the kind of the bar right up at top. But there were some subtle changes that actually, in my mind, could be feeding us additional information, which is exactly what I want. I don't want a UI that's just cluttered with all kinds of stuff. So they had the quest actions and stuff over on the left-hand side. So every time that got updated, you were getting that information, which is a real... Rather than hitting the button and having to see what your quest stuff was in a secondary menu, having that just being fed to you, but not always in your face.
And the map looked so much better. It has different little points that are telling you things like a racing game would, or like most MMOs are now.
Like, hey, go here, and here's a content.
Here's where this is happening. Hey, here's where something else is happening that'll be open in 5 minutes and 55 seconds. You're like, okay, I have time to swing by this. Things to explore, different. I mean, they added little hidden areas and the little hidden sectors where there's gonna be some loot hidden behind a boss, and just all sorts of things that I'm excited about in the UI.
Yeah.
The most of the gameplay itself looked very similar to me, which I'm okay with.
One of the biggest reveals for me, like you said, you didn't get the tingles.
Minimize the gun to face time.
Yes, they said that you can go from place to place, destination from anywhere. You don't have to go
No
to
orbit. No orbit.
Yes.
The only sad part is a little piece of me is like, but what about my ships?
They obviously still
I had
show
cool
orbit.
ships, but now they're just a load screen. You're going straight planet to planet, destination to destination, actually game mode to game mode. You're going to be out there exploring. If we can be
out there exploring and also in queue for PvP, that is going to be awesome. So your brothers, and they're like, well, we're not really interested in PvE. Okay, fine. We're in queue for PvP for our matchmaking. Let's just shoot some stuff and have a little fun. Thank you. Instead of looking at a menu, just going, all right, well, I guess I'll organize my inventory. So if I can be out there, I can be running adventures, doing treasure maps, doing adventures, finding these hidden sectors, and
make me struggle to stop playing your game to play your game. Our match pops in PvP, and I'm like, we were so close to the loot. I should be enjoying every single second to the point where they overlap.
Absolutely.
They did say, okay, we're resetting everybody. It's a new game, and now new players and veteran players will have to both start at square one. Well, yes, that's true of every sequel game ever in the history of ever.
Right.
They didn't address that when I go into PvP, but after a week, those veteran players are already further ahead of me, and I'll never catch them.
And hopefully that's where we're going to see more information coming out over the summer, is that, and the thing I've called for, and I hope that they answer, from a competitive perspective, just have a mode that is, everybody starts with the same weapons, and you have the power weapons, the exotics, that are sprinkled throughout the level. So that is essentially, it's so doable. Like, you can still have PvP modes where gear matters, and you have your build outs, and okay, fine, go, and that's fun. Especially in custom, that can be a lot of fun.
But when people have weapons that can do individual traits, and that's fine. Oh, the damage is the same for ours, but his weapon also stuns me, and my weapon doesn't stun him.
Exactly.
Oh, you should just play more.
And that's where, I think they
hard.
It's disheartening. Your brother Adam is phenomenal, and Todd is really good as well. They've got a lot of skill, but if I keep stun locking them and they can never execute their skill, and the only reason I can do that is because I have more time to grind, then it's just, that doesn't make sense. So from a competitive perspective, they can have a mode that all rules, all stats, you can have fun. But from a competitive mode, especially matchmaking, let's even it out.
Guns that change fire rate, guns that anything that modifies more than cosmetics, because every other FPS doesn't do that.
Right. I mean, PvP I think is going to be huge, but the fact that we could ideally queue for PvP while just goofing off in the world, not waiting around in a menu,
And it sounds like there's 5 game modes now.
Yeah.
And so all the different game modes, hopefully there's something that appeals to everybody. It'll be interesting to see if all of those are equally popular or if the most popular mode is where it just tosses a new one at random.
Next, they show off clans. They talk about, and that's one of the things that I was like,
how do I find people to play with?
Right. And then how do we build a community around that? So they announced...
That's not offline.
Yeah.
It's happening over on some other website.
Hey guys, we know we're not on PC, but you need a computer to play this game to have the tools.
If you could have your computer and your tablet open when you boot up your Xbox, that would be great.
That'd be great. So they announced clans in-game. Clan roster management. So it sounds like being able to recruit and kick and...
Everything to another MMO.
Yeah, exactly. So as a clan, and you kind of made a face when they announced like clan rewards, because they said that everybody who's doing something is participating in that goal of the clan or whatever.
2 simple concerns.
Yes.
First one, are those going to in any way make it to where once one clan gets ahead, any other clan that cannot keep up with that level of playtime cannot get ahead? Because we're a pretty casual group. Second one is, will custom games contribute towards that? Because if those things are just boosting your chances at cosmetic rewards, your chances at little honor points or whatever the new currencies are, it doesn't matter. Let all clans score points all the time in all game modes, because if we get a lot of people online on game night, we want to play custom. 4v4 inside our group. And the problem with Titanfall is that if you don't play without our group, it's hard to play with our group. And that's a weird spot to be in.
Yeah, there's progression. Yeah, you don't need to get, and I would never argue that they need to have custom games drop exotic weapons, but nobody in that cares. Like, it's just, we're just here to have fun and shoot each other in the face.
Fill out my basic weapons if that's a thing. Fill out my basic armor if that's a thing.
Achievements,
and let the clan as a whole move towards its, oh, cool, you guys now get more clan points. And it's at a less rate, but who cares? It's just something that makes me feel like
we're friends, we're having fun, and and we're still making minimal progress. So you don't ever feel like you're
wasting
losing
an evening.
Or wasting.
Oh man, too bad 5 of us are here. If only 4 of us were here, we could progress. I don't want to kick anybody out, but we're now stuck.
Yeah, exactly. So, and then as a part of the clan management, they talked about guided access, and we kind of talked about it a little bit in this video, and it's just
the ability to pick up a random.
Yeah, hey, we want to pick you up, and then you can kind of like try us out and see if like your play style and our play style mesh. Now, they said that they wanted this to be an introduction, and it just says the name and the motto, and you said something that it was like, that's not an introduction.
That's not an introduction. It doesn't tell you the kind of content they spend their time on, how far they've made it, average gear level, average play time, and all these things. And yes, you have to be careful when you introduce that, because people will start to say, I don't want to join that clan, they suck.
Yeah.
But it also tells me, like, okay, I don't know if they're a hardcore group of dicks. I don't know if they only speak German. I don't know. I don't know anything. It says, oh, this one has a clever little thing, and that one says we play games.
Right.
Well, that's going to tell me so much about their personality. No, that's going to tell me that their clan leader spent 4 minutes longer setting up their profile.
Okay, here's the intro, and then you scroll down, and you're like, oh, they've played 1,000 PvP games. Oh, they've done the raid, and they've completed it. Like, the stats are there. Just show them off. But the second part of that is that the ability for, like, they're not necessarily a member, but they're checking out the clan. They're checking us out. So let's say we've got 7. 7's a lucky number for us, because everything we always want to do is usually 8, but we can always get 7. But be able to bring somebody in, and then we're still having fun, us 7, and the person is like, these guys are fun, or nope, these guys are a bunch of jerks. They can say then, oh, could I come and hang out? And you're like, yeah, we play every Thursday.
Activision, Bungie, 2 huge partners, and that is a lot of people to put at one table. And they said, we are going to PC. We think we need somebody to help drive us onto that platform. We both said out loud, has to be Steam. Has to be.
Has to be Steam.
And then they said, we're going to go ahead and have them conference call in from China. I was like, that's weird. Steam's not based out of China.
No, it's like, is the CEO visiting China?
Like, what a weird turn of events. And then Blizzard comes on. Huge news. I was mind blown. You're going to be able to chat with people that are over in WoW and things like that. I look forward to seeing that. If that could somehow start to move towards cross-platform, that has been a dream of mine, of just, I'm playing video games, therefore you're playing video games, therefore we're friends. Exactly. Doesn't matter what developer, doesn't matter what platform. Huge move.
News. What are the implications? Like,
puts us on good servers. Traditionally.
Yeah. Does that mean PvP on hosted servers as opposed to... Because Destiny 1 is still peer-to-peer.
And what does it do to the cost of the game? Right. So the problem with headlining somebody big and then opening with another big act is that your ticket price to an event goes up.
What if, though, being a subscriber to WoW has an impact on your Destiny. Like, they have...
What does that look like? Is it YouTube TV where I'm now just saying, here's $5 to be a video game player, and then I'll add $2 per title?
Right.
I mean, this is way bigger than this video, but I am absolutely stoked to see that Blizzard is joining the fray.
Yes.
And
well, I was like, oh my gosh, I haven't played a Blizzard game on PC in a little while, but then I was like, I saw that, and I go, now I need to go install my Battle.net software and reinstall.
I gotta make sure that I haven't changed phones since then, because how am I gonna
access my account?
So search for your login, be excited. There are people playing right now. We'll get a beta this summer. September 8th is the confirmed launch date. And I am really excited. Today's live event was huge. I can't wait for more news.
I just need to see if I can't convince the rest of our game night crew to come along with me, because I'm already pre-ordering.
If Titanfall doesn't continue to better their party system, it is a pain point. So Destiny, you are a strong contender.
Let us know what you think. What are your thoughts in the comments below? Are you excited for Destiny? Are you excited for, you know what, the clans, for the guided access, for the raid, for the PvP? Let us know in the comments below, and let's have that conversation. And are you going to be playing on PC, Xbox, or PlayStation? Obviously, it seems like PlayStation is still the premier place to play it.
Absolutely. They provided all those PlayStations for those people.
But most likely, we're going to be on Xbox. So anyway, if you guys are looking for a good clan to join, let us know as well.
We'll continue to update you. If you're new here to Work to Game, we appreciate you stopping by.
And until next time, take care.